I am in such awe and wonderment at the fact of existence. It is so peculiar that anything exists at all, and that there's something here that notices it. You, me, whatever consciousness is. And that's the thing, have you ever noticed that primal, fundamental fact that anything exists at all is the foundation for all belief? You can almost hear the mind ticking away, trying to solve it as if it were a problem. It wants to make a story. We are storyteller creatures after all, aren't we? It wants to make a narrative. It wants to make a dogma. I can feel it. It wants to understand. And where does that will to understand come from? Maybe it is just a mechanism of survival. Maybe it is an artifact of our species' deep need to understand the world around us in order to stay safe, in order to feel secure. Of course, narrative and story has incredible transformational power. That much is evident in all the world's wisdom traditions. They all share the perennial philosophy. They all share that unifying truth of pointing to the same thing, different paths up the same mountain, so to speak. But I like resting in that state of trying to be comfortable with not knowing, with the mystery. Because that's what it is. It is ineffable to the human mind, isn't it? And that's what makes it, at least in part, what makes it so extraordinarily beautiful. It's the very thing that inspires that felt sense of awe and wonderment. And terror. There is dread too. I think Rudolf Otto had the terms mysterium fascinans and mysterium tremendum. And of course those point to the two different sensations that one can have when they look at the face of God, so to speak, for the want of a better term. One might be absolutely enamored and fascinated, but also experience true awe in the biblical sense, true dread. Both can be true at once, and I think they go hand in hand, don't they? They sort of embolden one another. The sense of dread is expanded by the sense of awe and vice versa. I love that there is just so much mystery to the fact of existence. I love all the different ways my mind tries to navigate that fact, tries to figure out what to do with it, like there is something to do with it. But the older I get, the more I feel that the clarity of it, the truth of it, comes through most strongly when one is not trying to figure it out or solve it as a problem, or figuring out what to do with it, but to lean into the nature of its mystery, to rest within the field of that mystery. Can you take a moment to try to be completely okay, just for a brief moment, with the fact that you might not ever know the answer, quote unquote answer. It's a very scary place to be. But it's also liberating. It means you don't have to create stories anymore. You don't have to anchor yourself to a belief. You don't have to wear lenses to filter the divine or sublime or sacred or whatever word you want to use. You can look directly at it and behold it for what it is, the great mystery, capital G, capital M. The feeling that I get when I rest in the great mystery, once the dread has passed, once the mind has undone itself through all of the machinations that it tries to use to settle the problem, the feeling I get is love and peace. And I suppose that comes from the surrender to the ineffable, surrender to the mystery, to be absolutely aligned with the fact that there is no way this little thing can comprehend all of this. To allow that truth to seat itself here. It is the one thing that has made life tolerable for me in all of its content, its ups and downs, its tribulations, and all of its trials, through all of suffering. It's that one kernel of truth, the core that I keep coming back to. If salvation exists anywhere, I think it's in surrendering to the mystery. But I think all of our stories and ideas about how to get there are also very important. All of our wisdom traditions and religions. Because the mind does require a path. It does require knowing how to put one foot in front of the other on this way, this road to liberation. And that is the wonderful part of being human, is that we can use our stories to navigate that path, to find our way. Our way back home.